Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakadash, Barakatam, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles and bishops of Wilmington, to the Akim Akbar, throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on in sincerity and in truth to the gospel of Lord Mashiach Yahushua in these days and times. By Menashe with the DC camp. A little lesson, for the hopeful elect to keep your mind sparked, excited, energized for this journey we are on. All right, because as we get closer and closer to our hour of temptation, you have to be prepared, spiritually for the chaos that you have to experience. Okay, it's just what Lord Mashiach Yahushai mentioned. You're gonna have to deal with the tribulation, and that tribulation is also the madness of this world that you have to realize that it's a necessary evil that must take place. It's all part of prophecy, and you just have to endure through it. All right. So at some point in time, we're all ignorant as to who we are as a nation. As Israelites, and when the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, was given the green light, to get that spark up in our spirit, we realize that we are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, or the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Then you begin to see things differently. Then you understand exactly the path the nations of this world are taking and what part you should take, what direction you should go in, okay, what direction you should walk in. So you understand that the whole world is under the spirit of Babylon. The whole world is under the spirit of drunkenness, okay. So what do you expect to happen, to be a festival of drunkenness? That's what the world is a reflection of. All right. So we used to drink of that ideology until the Lord Mashiach Yahushai, commanded us, to awake out of that stupor, out of sleep, out of ignorance, and to be sober-minded. That's exactly why the scriptures are important. Okay. So it says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, the Lord Yahweh Shemashadash's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so that spirit of confusion, is running rampant all over the whole world. The whole idea of fractional reserve banking, so-called democracy, women's rights, children's rights, all that stuff. Legislation as per global warming, you name it, man. The whole plan with the World Bank, all that stuff, man. It becomes evident that the world is on on that path of instability, on that path of instability, and that's how Esau makes its money, and so many of our people are benefiting from that instability, because Esau has to maintain instability upon the earth so he could keep the people divided, and stay relevant, stay in power for as much as they can. And when that spirit of instability, runs rampant upon the whole earth, what do you think is happening, man? The elites are making money because arms, arms. Somebody has to pay for the arms. Somebody has to supply the arms. Somebody has to supply the vehicles, for the chaos. Somebody has to supply food, uniforms, communication, all that stuff. All that communication is not for free, man. They gotta pay for it. you know, they all got they all gotta pay for it. That's how Esau makes his money. That's how uh, the world is in debt to the elites of Esau. All right. So, end of the day, man, the Lord of Mashiach Yahushai, commanded his elect to observe, the madness upon the earth and to detract, from that image, man. You can't be promoting the image of your oppressor at your own detriment, at the detriment of your own people. So, what does a man that fears the Lord do? He does what what his it's like what his Redeemer, Lord Mashiach Yahushai, commands him to do, which is to warn the people to abstain from that image of drunkenness, man. That's the reason why the women of our nation is having a so-called mental breakdown because they've drunken of that cup and they just don't want to let it go. All right, and that's why you also have all these young teenagers, just being how you call it, man. They're just self-imploding, man. They're just acting out, without guidance. Like a city that's broken down. It's just an epidemic of young folks, what you call so-called teenagers, just imploding, man. That's just a sad reality. The violence is too much. The lack of discipline is just becoming their badge of honor. So you understand, what the sadness is. You used to go through that phase. You know, once you were in the world, and then when it's time for you to move forward, when you get tired of being the clown of the show, you begin to realize that there is no satisfaction in being a clown. So especially when you have a repetition of substance to attain. When you know that you're more than just a clown, well, you want to be at the lowest state. So you have to grow in the spirit. Okay, you have to grow in the spirit, and that's what the Lord of Mashiach Yahushai is commanding us, man, to abandon that mindset of being a clown. You're not here to entertain the world. You're not here to make the world feel good. You're put on earth to glorify the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai Bashim Akakadash. To be a representation of his image. All right. Yep. That's just the challenge. You have to accept. People don't have to like it, but it is what it is. That's the Lord's image, man. What you see is what you get. That's just how it is, man. You have to believe that He is, and He deliver. He deliver on His command. All right. So we go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, Then you read verse 12. What does it say? For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. Yeah, so when you're easily distracted, you know, people that thought they had good intentions become bug outs, man. The spirit of deception, you know, is very destructive, man. It plays on the mind of the simple to cause them to err. All right, that's just what happens, man. When people stray away from the path of life, the path of righteousness, what happens? They become a member, you know, of the club of the dead, the two-thirds club. So you have to understand, man, that the way of the Lord, it's about life. It brings life, it brings light, it brings vitality. But when people ignore the the ways of life, the ways of righteousness, they become dead. That process of decay, of decomposition, begins to gain steam. And what happens? You have to chop it off. That's just what happens, man. When the wound can no longer be healed, it's a done deal. That person is condemned. It's over for that person. It's over for Jake. When they can no longer be healed, their whole body, the whole mind is totally corrupted. That's that. Before the infection spreads, it has to be flushed out. But when it's not flushed out, and it continues to spread, it becomes a terminal illness. All right, terminal illness, and that's the end. It's a wrap for that person. And the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. So it's a sadness, man, that you have to observe our people, drowning, and you just wonder how long, will this continue. So you begin to understand that the Lord has already pushed, the two-thirds of Jake's, man, into a state of delusion, and they refuse to return unto the Lord. So what does the Lord do? He has to cut them off. That's just how it is, man. There's nothing they can offer unto the Lord. It's a wrap for them. So that's the reason why you have to fear the Lord, and don't take His words for granted, man. His words are powerful, and don't ignore them when you have an opportunity to build upon it. Otherwise, you're going to end up without a structure, without a place of hiding, without a fortress. All right. So what do we do next? We read from the book of Proverbs. All right, let's see. Book of Proverbs, chapter 15. And then we see verse 24. And what does it say? It says, the way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. Yeah, that's what happens, man. When your mind is focused on the Lord, you are concerned about being separated from the vibration of ignorance, the vibration of foolishness, the vibration of unrighteousness. In fact, the image of death, okay, that is consuming the whole world. All right, the Lord Amashak says the whole world dwelleth in darkness. Yep. So it's just something to remember. We should not ignore the value of the Most High's words, man. When you are interested in rectifying your situation, your existence. You start to apply principles that are beneficial to your health. Okay, that's just the way it is. You have to abide by that principle. If you want something positive, something uplifting, you have to apply uplifting principles, man. Principles that add value to your life. And that's just what the Lord expects, you know. So you have to understand that Babylon, that spirit of drunkenness, it detracts from your progress, man. It causes you to lose momentum. It makes you to go off track. It undermines your progress in righteousness, man. It makes you unstable. All right. So you have to understand that you have an opportunity to fill the gaps in your life with substances that have value. All right, that's just what it is. You have to connect. The connecting spots. Every spot has to be filled with items that have value, which is the gospel. Principles of this gospel. Is it charity? Is it every gift? The gifts of righteousness. All right. So, we call the fruits of the spirit. It's what you apply to your life to plug in the gaps, so that you have a fitly constructed building, a house. That's what it is. The house is your mind, is your the value, of your the value you placed on the doctrine. If you value the doctrine of the Lord Amashak Yahushai, you're going to apply every resource that you can get to help maintain a study, strong, up to standard, up to code, structure. That's what it is. You want to build a structure that lasts, so you get the best principles to apply to it. Okay, so that you can pass inspection. That's what this gospel is all about. All right. So you can how you call it, retire in peace, man. That's what it is, man. So you can enjoy the benefits of your labor in the Lord Amashak Yahushai. So get another precept from the book of Isaiah 19 and 14. It says, the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. They have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Okay, so you do not want that image of Egypt to be dominant in your mind. That's why you have to flush it out, man. You have to go through a process of decontamination. You don't want that contamination to linger, that infection to linger. So you have to do everything you can to flush it, man. It's just like a cancer. It has to be in remission. So that's the reason why you have to put in all the necessary nutrients to keep your body, fit and framed properly. Yeah. So the whole world are drunken from that golden cup of Babylon. The shiny object syndrome. So what do you expect to happen? Instability across the whole world. Yeah. Folks are just yelling and screaming because of the instability of Babylon's doctrine, all right, that their country has latched onto. You know, the ministers and the leaders of these countries around the world, they've become clients of the company of drunkenness, man. So what do you think is going to happen? There'll be instability in their households. Then you start hearing issues of confusion, man. When you drink from the pot of confusion, the cup of confusion, you end up confused, man. You get that element of being confounded. That's just what's going on in the world, man. The people are confounded in their ideologies, and they're just wandering in darkness. So it's just what it is, man. They're groping in darkness. They keep trying over and over and over to fix a system that doesn't work for them. All right. Since they've taken their eyes off the principles of righteousness, they end up losing, their lives, for a thing of naught. All right. So I'm not going to prolong this lesson that long. It's just the way of the world that the people have to observe and to decide how they will proceed. Yeah, so Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 25, it says this: I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. Okay? So it just brings everything full circle, man. When you drink from the cup of madness, you expect madness. You expect irrationality. You see the path, the progression from a state of so-called innocency to a state of being a bug out. Just like, you see the progression of a person before they began using illegal, what do you call it, hard drugs and all that stuff. What do you call it, narcotics, all these painkillers and all that stuff. They become hooked on drugs. They have an addiction problem. So you see the progression before, during, and after, and the end. You track the progression, the transition, and all that stuff, and you see that the latter state is worse than the beginning. So there's one thing, you have to be aware of, man, that this spirit of drunkenness, it leads to the way of death, foolishness, and folly. They're like lubricants for the path of death. All right, that's the reason why the Lord talks about smite or scorner, and the simple shall beware, man. So people have to be disciplined, man. When there's a overwhelming vibration of folly around them, you just have to be like Lot. You have to understand, the damage that can be done when you begin to latch on to the spirit of drunkenness, man. You begin to reverence the way of foolishness rather than to uplift the ways of righteousness, man. So when you're wise, you understand that the way of life, the world was created for life, okay, not death. That's just what it is. It said what? Be fruitful and multiply. So you have to abide by the principles of life. You have to make sure you keep that energy going, man. The moment you interfere with that spirit of life, then you start having a breakdown. That's just the reason why the Lord got mad at Adam and Eve. They interfered with the path of righteousness, and they began to reverence the ways of foolishness, the ways of the serpent, and that's what has happened. The ways of deception, the crooked path. When you start to adopt crooked practices, what happens? You begin to get the harshness of the Lord's judgment. So that's just the lesson. In a nutshell, you just have to adapt. Your life to hold on to righteousness, man. It's a struggle. You know, fighting against the powers of darkness. But always remember, man. This world was made for righteousness, man. So you have to understand, what force, would you want to go along with? The force of righteousness or the force of drunkenness? So you understand what is going to cost you. Separation, man. That withdrawal symptoms is no joke. So you just have to abide. If you want to be active in this ministry, you have to adopt the ways of life. You have to be fully committed to being an asset of righteousness, man. You don't want to be a liability, to the ministry. So that's the point that I can put. You've been edified, and till then, you just got to stay faithful unto the end in righteousness. Shalom.